So in this age of LiPo powered batteries, you're sick and tired of 18650s, taking them out to recharge and all that kind of stuff, or maybe you're even just in the market for a new mod that you want to be able to fire your old Pro tanks, Nautilus tanks, all that kind of stuff, and also your sub-ohm tanks as well. For £40, you cannot do much better than the Aspire ESP30W mod. Alright guys, hey, welcome to Island of Vape. Now, as always, I make no bones about it, I'm a bit of an Aspire fanboy. So when I saw the ESP30W mod available on vapeclub.co.uk, not a sponsored video, don't worry, I just had to pick it up. I've been in the market for quite a while now for something LiPo powered with a quick charge, a good battery, that I can use to kind of phase out my old 18650 powered Sigeli 150 watt as a sort of, when my other mod is charging, I can grab that and just vape on that for a little bit. Basically, this ticked all the boxes. I didn't really necessarily need temperature control. I've got the Vapor Shark for that, and it's still relatively expensive to get a temperature control mod these days, certainly in the UK. I know in the US, you guys are pretty lucky. You can get your hands on some temperature control stuff relatively cheap. But for the sake of, I mean, this unit's about 40 quid. It'll power anything down to a 0.3 ohm coil. It ranges from 5 watts up to 30 watts. So it'll power anything kind of, you know, a Nautilus with a 1.8 or a 1.6 ohm coil in it, something like that. Same with Kanga Pro tanks and all that good stuff. But also, I'm going to get away with powering my Atlantis V2, my Triton, and my sub tank, as long as I've got a coil that's above 0.3 ohms. I'm good to go, and that fits the bill. It's perfect as a secondary kind of when my other mod is charging mod. So let's have a look at it. I'm not going to dive down and show you anything up close and personal because there's not a lot to show, I'll be honest. Let's get to it. Here's the box. Basically it doesn't come in a big plastic box like the Aspire tanks do. There's the sides there and the top. It's all pretty basic packaging there. The matte black with the shiny silver pictures and stuff on it. No instructions inside. All the instructions you need are here on the back. Tells you exactly what it does. 1900 milliamp hour LiPo battery, so safe to charge it in the unit. It's also got pass-through as well, so you plug the USB cord into the bottom, you can still vape on it while it's charging, which is good if you ever get caught short, something like that. Inside the box, let's have a look. There it is, in this kind of cardboard surround here. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. If we pop it out, you can see the only other thing in the packaging there is that USB charge cable, which is nicely kind of packed up. I'm not going to use that. Obviously, they advise you that you should use the included cable. Any Android style charger will do. So again, if you're caught short, you've only got your phone charger for your Android phone. That'll plug in the bottom, and it will charge it just as well. Size wise, yeah, like I say, I was quite impressed. This is my Vapor Shark DNA 200. This is the ESP30W. They are pretty much identical in height. The ESP does it slightly in terms of width, and then sort of thickness as well, I guess you could say. We put them on the top. They are pretty identical. Really cool. I'm actually enjoying smaller box mods a hell of a lot more now. I used to love the old school kind of, I mean, this is the Sigeli 150 watt. You can see the difference in size. I mean, this thing's a monster compared to the ESP. Width, it's slightly thinner, actually, very slightly. And height wise, it's, yeah, again, it's a behemoth. Like I say, I'm really enjoying these smaller mods now. I used to like the big kind of hold it in your hand, big chunky thing. You get ridiculed out in the street with those things. You know, I hate to say it, as much as they're great, you know, twin 18650 batteries give it a lot of kick. You look like a moron these days. People just think you're an idiot. It's kind of unfortunate, really. But certainly I personally prefer something a bit more stealth, you know, that I can just kind of have in the hand. People don't necessarily notice it quite as much. The unit itself, I've got a bit of a carbon fibre fetish, You can see there, like, it's really nice. It's completely wrapped in carbon fibre. You've got the ESP30W on the front, Aspire, and the screen is down at the bottom there. On the top, 510 connection with a sprung pin. This sort of rotating dial here acts almost like one of those vision spinners. You twist that to adjust the wattage. And on the base, nothing more than your recessed USB connection. The button on the front, it's kind of... It doesn't jiggle when you jiggle it, but there is some movement and some play. In terms of an entry-level mod for 40 quid, you can't expect amazing build quality, but I mean, this pretty darn well nails it. You can see the firing button. It's kind of like a little... we zoom it in. It's got these kind of ridges on it. You can't really see it too well there. It doesn't want to focus. But it's kind of got these sort of ridges just for a little bit more grip or purchase on the finger, I guess. Really nicely sprung, very clicky, certainly one of the most clicky buttons that I've ever had the joy of pressing. It's a 5 clicks to turn on mod, but one thing I have noticed is that it does actually tend to take 6 clicks. So don't get worried if you click it 5 times and it doesn't unlock, just click it again. The first click always turns the screen on, basically. So you can see here, if I click it the first time, click 5 times, so now it's on. If I try and do that without clicking it that 6th time, it doesn't work. The screen's got to be on for the 5 times to work. So let's chuck a tank on, fire it up, and see what kind of power we get out of this thing. One thing I will say, I actually gave this to my girlfriend at the weekend just to kind of try it out for a bit. She struggled putting the tank onto the 510 connector. I actually struggled a little bit with that to begin with. You've just got to bear in mind that because it is a sprung pin, you kind of almost have to push it a little as you turn it, and then it'll lock in and you can screw it down. It won't screw down all the way to begin with. I forced it a little bit just to kind of make a little groove and get the tank to sit flush. Don't over tighten it, because you, for a start, if you over tighten it and you try and undo it, you might end up just unscrewing the tank section from the base and then crap goes everywhere. It's not good. So just bear that in mind. Just be careful when you're screwing it down. The fit is not the flushest, and you might be able to see there's kind of just a little gap in between the base and the top of the mod there. There we go, 30 watts. To adjust the wattage, you turn the dial, basically, very simple. So we turn it down, you can go 28, 27, and it goes all the way down to 5. You can do it pretty quick. There you go, 5 watts. There. It does have a readout of the voltage and the ohms as well. I got a 0.4 ohm coil in this Atlantis 2 right now. So let's bump it up, back up to, we'll go for 25 watts. The lower recommended setting for this particular coil. So that's going to give us 3.8 volts. I've actually had the battery on this. I haven't charged it since I got it. I got it on Friday. It's now Monday. Like I say, I've not been using it non-stop, but that's pretty damn good battery life, to be fair. I've used it a bit, certainly at night if I've been gaming or something. I've been vaping away on this as opposed to the Vapor Shark. It's a pretty damn good battery life, 1900 milliamp hours, LiPo as well. It gives a really good kick compared to something like, for example, the CF sub-ohm, which is just your regular old, it's kind of like an 18650 cell almost inside the tube that you can't get to. But being LiPo, the hit is a lot more, I wouldn't say it's instant. It takes a little while before it starts to kick into life, but the hit you get is a lot more apparent. It's a lot bigger. You can hear, if I click the button, it'll take a little while before it fires. There you go. So it's about a second, but it's a nice hit still. So let's give it a few blasts and see what we get out of it. Not bad for 25 watts. It's quite a cool vape at 25, certainly, but it kicks out a nice amount of power. It's really solid, and you can get some good clouds out of it. Certainly compared to their CF sub-ohm battery, you're going to get bigger clouds, better clouds. It's also more adjustable. Okay, it's like maybe 10-15 pounds more than that, but this is a lot more versatile. Like I say, it will power your old tanks. If you're new to vaping, but you fancy sub-ohm stuff, it will still power your 1.6 and 1.8 ohm coils in your smaller tanks, as well as these bad boys. So I've cranked it up to 30 watts now. We'll give it a bit of a blast at that, and I'll let you know what it's like. I'm going to go for airflow wide open as well, top and bottom, just for maximum cloudage, just to give you an example of what you can achieve. For £40, that's pretty damn impressive. I mean, you can see, like, this is kicking out some big clouds. You can have it at a lower setting if you want. If you don't want to, if you don't want to be really antisocial like this and kind of cloud people out in public, whatever, you don't have to be. But that's just to show you that this thing can pack a real punch if you want it to. This fills a gap really nicely, certainly for me. I'm dual wielding right now. Dual mods, but again, for someone who's new to it, like I say, this is a fantastic little bit of kit. I know I'm an Aspire fanboy, but I cannot really sing the praises of this enough compared to the likes of your Kangatech stuff or whatever with the 18650 battery. Still, it's a bit of a stepping stone for some people, getting over the fact that they've got to buy £10 worth of battery, £20 worth of charger. This for 40 quid, it's got a USB cable, and that's it. That's all you need. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the Aspire ESP30W box mod. Certainly a fantastic little bit of kit for anyone who's just beginning vaping. Certainly, this will see you through from the initial smaller tanks right the way up to a bit of sub-ohm vaping. And even if you do progress to something a little bit more powerful, you can always keep this in reserve and it will do you just fine. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, Instagram, Twitter, website, blah, 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 all the usual stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Happy vaping.